All right. Welcome, everyone, to the podcast. It is Tuesday, September 7th, 2021, 1:08 p.m. I just like to have a record of when things are, keeps me grounded. And today's guest is Shawn Harper. It's very exciting. Welcome, Shawn.
Hey, thanks for having me. Welcome. Let's go. Let's win.
Yeah. All right. You've noticed that I just said the podcast. It's because I have trouble deciding what to call my podcast. But in the meantime, I'm Josh Rackless, as I was born. And then I've been calling myself Celebrity Josh and calling the podcast that. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe now I'll rename myself Spark and I'll call this like Spark University. And then all my guests are like helping teach people things. These are just the ideas that are swirling in my head. So maybe we'll find some clarity today.
Maybe, hey,
yeah.
How about having a contest?
Yeah, like asking the people to name me or something.
Yeah, give them some like ownership. You got some buy-in, and the best one, take the top 5. And you know what? If you get that, then hey, this you get this for free or that for free. That's huge, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the kind of thing I've done when I worked as a copywriter. Like I wrote a song for a cheer commercial, and then the client's like, "Well, you're just our writer. You're not a songwriter." And I was like, "Well, okay, what if we make it a contest? What if you take like a couple of songs that the Soundhouse wrote and then throw mine in and we can record that for it." And we did that, and the audience voted, and mine wound up winning. So it was in the commercial. And then I think we made an album with the different songs on it. So yeah, it's definitely fun to get people involved. I find that when I get people involved in my things on social media, like, hey, should I call myself Spark? I get a few votes, but it's just like a few people. I don't know if it's enough to be statistically significant. It's like, I guess if you're like an influencer, but like even Ty Lopez, I see he does that a lot. Like he's clearly got an idea for an app that's kind of like Twitter. And he's like, hey, should I call this Thread or Thread Feed or Chatter or whatever? And I guess he uses that information. But even me, who's like really into names and naming apps, I look at it and I'm like, I don't know which one would be better. So I don't know how any of the advice helps. But yeah, I might as well make it some kind of game. Although then I don't even know if the people who follow me are necessarily my friends or they're my enemies, and then they might be trying to sabotage me. Yeah, call yourself Buttercup. That's a good idea. And then it'll wind up not doing well for me. I don't know. How did you come up with the name Shawn Harper?
You know what? It's an interesting little battle here. Okay, so my dad, my original first name and still original first name is not Shawn, it's Aaron. And my mom wanted my name to be Shawn, and I don't know, maybe it was an ex-boyfriend, I don't know. And so she's like, okay, we're going to name you Aaron, but we're going to call you Shawn. Duh. So that's how it happened,
Interesting. So that's not even your middle name. It's just your
it is Aaron Shawn Harper. Yeah, but she wants to call me Shawn.
Yeah, that happened to my friend Joel. Like I called him Joel all his life, and I found out at some point that that's his middle name, and I forget what his real name is. But some people go by something else. So yeah, you choose whatever, and then nobody knows until they read your Wikipedia page, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, Jay-Z? That's not his real name. He was named like Sean Carter or whatever." Yeah. So then I guess it's cool. Like I keep forgetting what Lady Gaga's name is. It's like Stephanie something, but whatever. You just got to do your own thing. So I'm in Ottawa, Canada. Where are you?
Columbus, Ohio, USA.
Oh yeah, I used to go there. Like when we were focus grouping things for Procter and Gamble, we tried to get out of Cincinnati because everybody in Cincinnati works for Procter and Gamble. So
everybody,
Columbus was close enough, but far enough. And what's your little, what does your Instagram bio say, or what's your little pitch in an elevator? Like, who are you? What do you do?
Oh man, you know what? I have a name. The name is the Winologist. Okay. And so basically what I do is that I teach people how to win. And it's so much deeper than the actual surface. The winning touches the root of your DNA, because you're literally, everyone is hearing me. You are a winner. And when you tap into that win, you know what, things go through the roof. Every aspect of your life goes through the roof. And so if life is a game, you play to win.
I like that. Is that like, so you're like Donald Trump? Like we're all going to get tired of winning?
No, because to get tired of winning is to be tired of who you are as a person. And that's just not going to happen. You might not like yourself, but you're not going to be tired of it.
All right. Yeah, there's a store in Canada. Sorry, just closing my curtains because I realized the light was not doing me any favors. There we go. There's a store in Canada called Winners. And really? It's kind of like I don't know what it is. It's like discount clothes. Like they might get a shipment of designer clothes, and then so it's always a variety of things, whatever sort of stores are done with. And we always used to joke about it. Like, it's like, oh, winners is for winners. Like, it's sort of sarcastic because it's like cheaper clothes or whatever. So, but yeah, you could use winners in a positive way for sure.
Heck yeah.
And so are you like a coach or an author, or like, how do you?
Yeah, I'm an author. I do coach people. Primarily, though, I'm a speaker. And so I speak all over the country, and I've spoken in maybe 15, 20 different countries. Wow. I'm also a business owner. I'm in a process of trying to fire myself right now to bring someone else in so I can be, single focused on investing in the world's greatest resource, which is people. Because when you invest in people, it has the potential of reaping generations of dividends. And I love to get paid when I sleep.
Yeah. Like literally get paid, or like just paid in the sense of, look, I've helped the world and I feel good.
Paid in the sense that, hey, I helped the world and I feel good.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. You know what? Because there's not a lot of that. There's not enough of that. People are just so nowadays, they're so myopic. They're so caught up and stuck on themselves. And society doesn't do, any better. Facebook, MySpace, or I'm dating myself, or just, selfie, everything is all about you. But let me explain to you, one of the strongest spiritual laws I've learned is that it doesn't really come to you or stay with you if it can't get through you. And so our job is, we are a conduit of love, grace, power, mercy, gifts. That's what we do. It's supposed to flow through us. And then what happens is that it is reciprocated back to us. That's how we're supposed to live.
Okay. Yeah, because I've heard a lot of that kind of thing in podcasts lately. They say, like, if you just, I don't know, if you just make space for people, or like start a Facebook group where they can all talk to each other and support each other, or if you help people, it'll come back to you. Like if you just
give away
things for free, or just offer to help people, like the more you help people, the more you'll get back, kind of thing.
So it is, in fact, a spiritual law. It is the truth. And if you're hearing that, well, then you know what, kudos, because we need it. Our society, when you look around and you see a lot of the tragedies that is happening in our culture, it's like, it is the lack of people pouring in and helping. It's a lack of empathy. It's a lack of sympathy. The next time, I remember when I was a kid and you would see a lady pulled over on the side of the road and with a flat tire. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Within 2 minutes, somebody's stopping. Now, think about that.
Yeah.
They're gone. Now take that small example and let's just amplify it throughout our entire culture. That's how we think. Oh, there's a murder. Oh, so sad. Next story, next click. What's going to make me laugh? Think about that for a second.
Yeah. It's tough because, maybe in a small town, you see somebody with a flat tire, like, oh, I'll help them. I probably know them, or at least it's safe. Yeah. But in a giant city, like, you're afraid, oh, if I pull off the highway, is it too dangerous, or is this a scam, or I forgot to get my job. So maybe social media and the internet's kind of like that. It's just too big a thing. You can't, we're not designed to pay attention to billions and billions of murders and tragedies. Like everybody's kind of got to look out for themselves. So I think there's, mean, selfish people in the world for sure. And I think there's also good people in the world, and those people will always try to help people. And then there's only so much we can do. We're all just trying to make our own way. And I don't know, it's tough because you can decide to focus on either one, right? There's always a story in the internet. Like I was just watching a video yesterday of, look, this, I forget where it was, but his fruit cart fell apart. And then it shows all these people swamping him, just helping him get his fruit back onto his cart. So, you can find things like that, but then of course you can find things where people are just walking by things or just looting a store or whatever it is. So yeah, it's I don't know what the answer is. I guess it's all coming down to human nature. Like we're biologically are the way we are. And, naturally as animals, like in the old times and caveman times, we just have to fight to survive, and we're fighting each other and we're fighting tribes. And we've gradually sort of evolved a bit to sort of, okay, well, we've got a structure, we've got laws, let's try to help each other out, but we still will slip back to our natural instincts if we don't have enough restrictions or whatever. I don't know. Well, how did you get? Yeah, go ahead.
I think that pressure makes an animal of all of us. Adversity and pressure, it will come out. My challenge with that is that, as I said earlier, I could remember a time when we did, or like we're the same biological creatures. I remember a time where, when we did care, like if there's someone drowning, it was unheard of 25 years ago to just film somebody drown, right? It's like, or you film somebody on fire. Like, no, I'm not going to help. Oh no, but I am going to film you. I am going to film your demise. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, who does? But anyway.
Well, they've done. I remember even, when I was in school 30 years ago, we studied. What was it called? The diffusion of responsibility, where like somebody might be stabbed or being attacked or something, and there's hundreds of people in the neighborhood who can hear it, but nobody calls 911 because they just assume somebody else has.
Yeah.
So the more people that are around, the less likely anybody's going to do anything. So you're like, well, somebody else has. I shouldn't get involved. Like, obviously, somebody else would be taking care of this if this should happen. But if there's just one person there, it's more likely that person's going to do something because they realize, oh, I'm the only one here that can help. So maybe if there's other people there surrounded by the burning person or the drowning person, it might be like, okay, I'll film it because clearly I'm not qualified to help. Somebody else is going to help. But if you're the only one, maybe be a bit weird that you were just standing there. Oh, look at that person drowning. I'll just film this and wait till it's over. But that was the that was the end of the Seinfeld episode or the series where they were just filming somebody getting mugged or something because they were like, hey, that's kind of funny. And that was before smartphones. So
wow. But you know what? That's what I love about this moment right here, though, is that being on a podcast, planting seeds, knowing that I'll never eat of its fruit. Like I have an opportunity, and you've given the space for an opportunity to be that blessing, to be the encouragement, or to help people, or to just, if nothing less, just, entertain them for 15, 20, 30 minutes. But at least we're using this opportunity to share seeds and to encourage. And so I like to kind of switch that in my mind and say, you know what, I guess, it's not all bad out there after all,
Yeah. And that's that's what I try to do with this. Like originally I thought, oh, I'm just going to interview celebrities. And then I thought, well, just comedians, it should be hilarious. But then I'm like, but I also like to hear tips from people and all the stuff I'm struggling with. Well, how do you make money? How do you be happy? How do you live your best life? And so I thought if I can combine that, so maybe some people just get from this, it's a fun little conversation, or maybe some people get from it like, well, I listen to Josh all the time, so I kind of feel like I know him. I kind of feel like he's my friend, so it makes me feel less lonely. Or other people are like, oh, I didn't know how to become a life coach or an author or whatever, and now I've learned a few things. So hopefully this can help. Cool. I mean, I always wonder, is it worth it? But I'm like, I mean, for me personally, it's like, well, it's great to talk to somebody like you anyways, and so if I can record it as well, it's a bonus for people.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see what happens. And I was listening to a podcast today, this James Altucher guy, and he was talking about interviewing and how he does it. And his own thing is he just interviews people that are interesting to him and then tries to keep in mind what might be useful for the audience. And then he's doing very well. So I figure there's space for me. There's space for everyone. You just got to put out your stuff and see what happens. Yeah. Well, how did you get started with everything? Like, you became Shawn instead of Aaron, and then like you were always in Columbus. Did you like
pain and adversity, the fires of the coals of rejection and abandonment, of being one of 6 kids on the south side of Columbus, my father leaving when I was 3 years of age, repeating the first grade, and documented with 4 to 5 learning disabilities by the time I was in the 5th grade, stuttered my entire life and kicked out of 2 schools, and leaving high school with a 1.62 accumulative GPA, voted most likely to fail, and I go up to a junior college in Iowa, and it's kind of cold in Iowa, right? And I'm at this junior college in Iowa, and I'm ending out or rounding out the first season because I'm trying to play football. And by the way, I never started in high school football. I barely started. It wasn't even, there's no awards, no accolades. You can look that stuff up, right? And so I said to myself, I had this conversation with myself. I'm not crazy. We're a little crazy. And the conversation was, you know what, you're right. I will never be successful. I don't have the grades. I have nothing, but I can win. And the moment I said win, it just, those old sci-fi movies where one guy walks over and he hits one switch and the entire factory lights up. My entire life just lit up. The DNA of Aaron Shawn Harper sparked a life. And I began to look for things and look for opportunities to win, not to be successful, but to win. And I begin to look at things differently. I begin to look at, instead of goals, I begin to look at strategies. I begin to, make the switch in my mind, and it touched the essence and the DNA of who I am and who everyone is. It's that you are a winner, and I can prove it, is that each and every one of you, you're either 1 to 2 million sperm cells. You're that one. You beat 1 million plus sperm cells to fertilize the egg. That means that you're a winner. And that's why we love sports. And that's why we love gambling. That's why we love gaming. Everything, there's nothing to do with success in any of what I've just mentioned. It's about winning. And it touches your DNA whenever you experience that. In fact, your body releases of chemicals and hormones to just affirm the win or that excitement. That's why you would love a famous football team. You could be a diehard fan, but if they lost every single game for the next 5 years, you are not wearing that hat because you cannot identify with losing. It just tears at you. So how can we harness all of that, all of you, from a holistic perspective and apply it to sports, business, life, and relationships in a way that your body not only can hear it, it can feel it. And that is the difference between success versus winning.
Yeah, I mean, winning's been on my mind lately because a month ago I entered a Yuck Yucks comedy club stand-up comedy contest, and I did it last year and I didn't get voted past the first night, but when I did it last month, I was chosen first of my night out of 7 people. I'm like, oh my God, I won. I came in first. So happy. And then the next month I was like, oh, round 2, you know what? I better write all new stuff. And I did, which you're not supposed to do. I found out later, no, everybody just does the same thing. So I didn't win. I came in last, and I'm like, now I felt like crap. My life is over. But you got to keep going. And then yesterday, a friend of mine, I started this Facebook group for meetups on short notice, just to have people meet up. And this woman and her husband, who I met once for a walk, they invited me to play tennis. And so I came out and I was hitting the ball back and forth. And Julia's like, oh my God, you're really good. Like, what sports do you play? Like, what rackets? I'm like, I've never played tennis in my life. I don't know. And she's like, wow, you're good. And then I felt bad. So I'm like, oh my God, maybe I have a gift for this. Maybe I should have done it 30 or 40 years ago. Like, why didn't I? Did I miss out on a chance to be a tennis pro? Was that supposed to be my life? So it frustrates me a bit because I could taste, like, imagine if I did win. So then on my jog today, I was just like, okay, well, maybe I should look up what things you can do as an older person that you could still be good at. Like, I'm not going to become an Olympic tennis player. I'm not going to become a child star. Like, but what, maybe can people play darts when they're older? I don't know. I don't know what I could do.
You can golf.
Yeah, I could golf. Yeah. No, my grandfather always golfed. And when I played rugby, he's like, no, you should do something you can play when you're older, like tennis or golf. I'm like,
yes.
Okay. So maybe I should try that. Mm-hmm. And so did you play football?
Yes, I played college. I played at Indiana University. Yeah. And I played 7 years professional football.
So what's professional football?
Like the NFL.
So you were in the NFL?
Yes.
What team?
The Rams and the Colts.
Wow. So that's pretty, what is that behind you on your Zoom background?
That's the Colts Stadium right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. What position were you? Let me guess, because I don't know anything about football, but you look kind of like you're a big guy. So you're like
a big guy.
Yeah, you're like either what's the
lineman?
I was gonna say lineman. Yeah, like
yes.
So does that mean offense or defense, or is it
offensive lineman?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, okay. So now you can answer to me, like, my fantasy is like, oh, what if I played tennis or baseball or something, and you're standing there and like thousands of people are watching you, and you're on the field and you're like this star. Like, is it as cool as I imagine? Like, is that pretty?
You know what? When you're in the zone, you don't even see them. You're in the zone. If people yelling, I don't even see that.
Yeah.
All I see is the person whom I've been tasked to destroy.
Right. It's very friendly, but yeah, you
It's
got to focus. Yeah, because if you're paying attention to people screaming or whatever, you can't
yeah,
focus on the game. So it's got to be. I guess it's just like playing a game that you'd play in front of nobody. Like you're
yeah.
just playing football. Well, that's pretty cool. And is it? I don't know. Is it this like rock star life? Like you're walking around town where you're like an NFL player. You go to a bar and be like, oh my god, that's Shawn. Like, is it like that?
Yep.
Ah, I knew I should have become a football player.
Yep.
Wow. So then, see in LA Rams. I mean, that's LA. So like you're a rock star in Los Angeles.
Hold on. In LA, you're an NFL football player, but you still might have to wait in line in LA.
Because there's a lot of stars.
Because there's Michael Jackson coming through the door. There's Prince coming through the door. There's the president coming through the door. You may have to wait in line still, but you still had a little bit of clout.
Just a bit. But yeah, I guess it's better like Indianapolis where there's not.
God. Oh yeah. Indianapolis is shrines, shrines there. But LA, you got stars. You got Eddie Murphy is here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Yeah, but Shawn Harper's here. Yeah. So who? Sorry. What?
Yeah, it's like yeah. Hi.
Are you his bodyguard?
Brad Pitt is around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, who are you? You must be the bodyguard,
Yeah. Well, that'll keep you humble, I guess.
Yes, it does. And yes, it did.
Wow. Yeah. So 7 years of that. I mean, that's pretty cool. I haven't done much for the past 7 years. So using it productively would be good. And then what happens? I guess football is one of those things that you can only play it for so long because it's
right. I retired and I opened up a security firm, years ago, and I run a security firm, and then I also travel and speak. I speak. I love to do motivational speaking, and I teach about winning.
Yeah. So there's, I mean, that's what happens to a lot of athletes. Like there's Pinball Clemens. Do you know him?
No.
He was like a CFL, Canadian Football League player, Michael Pinball Clemens. He was this little guy, like a running back or I guess. So they call him Pinball. But I know he gives, like, he goes around doing speaking like that. And he spoke at We Day in Canada and stuff. So I guess sports translates well to that. Like, how did you naturally, but not everybody does it. Not every ex-football player is walking around.
Most of them don't.
No. So how did you decide to do that? Yeah. So
every team, probably up in Canada as well, every team has a PR department. And, people in the community would ask people, can, a couple Colts players come speak or whatever, fundraiser. And, they put the list out who wants to go. Like, I'm going, it's an extra, little bit of money. Plus it gives me exposure.
Right.
And it allows me to polish and to brush up on my speaking skills. So yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Cool. Yeah. So a lot of people probably, would have been like, I don't have time for that. I'm just going to go party or whatever. Yeah. But you sort of looking for those opportunities. Be like, I'll be the face of the team. I'll go do something.
Why not? Yeah.
Cool. And then, so you just sort of got into it that way.
Yep.
And then like, did you have to start writing like plan what speeches you would give if you're talking to an event, like start writing things down, like writing a book, or I don't know?
I do write a lot of notes, but when I step on the stage, I never use my notes.
No, you just got like, do you have stories you tell, or?
I love stories.
Yeah.
I love stories. Yeah. I just put it all in, I swallow it, figuratively, and then it just regurgitates. It comes right out and I'm speaking.
Wow. So these personal stories about like the life, like in sports, or is it stuff you've read in like life coaching books? Or
it starts out with personal stories, but when I'm speaking to corporate, personal stories work great, but they need actionable steps.
Yeah.
They need content that they can take back. They need deliverables, things that they can apply in their office to help strengthen their culture. So yeah, definitely.
So have you come up with those on your own based on, I've done this, so this probably means that in business you should like what's an example of one of those things?
Well, so, I owned, and I still own, a security firm.
And that's the one you're trying to fire yourself from?
Yes.
Yeah.
For the past 20 years.
Wow.
And, it's no mom and pop, this is a nice size company. To, have one of the the number one attributes that you can have as a leader, is to have the ability to facilitate and maintain a positive and powerful culture. Everyone's talent is like a seed, but the seed has to be placed in good soil. If the pH is off in the soil, I don't care how good of a seed you have, it's not going to grow.
Yeah. So the culture of the business has to be encouraging and supportive and all that.
Yes, has to be just right. Just right.
So not too lenient, but not too strict.
Not too strict. One of the things that I, really stress is that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to fail. Because if you have a culture to where people are like rigid and they're scared and they're nervous and uptight, it might help with production a little bit. Actually, it doesn't, but it really destroys innovation. People won't take chances. Like, heck no, I'm not getting fired. I'm not getting written up. No way.
Yeah. I've always felt that way. Like when I've worked for creative directors that were mean, I feel like, okay, I'll do the work, but I'm going to do the bare minimum. I'm going to do this so they'll get off my case. Like, just like, I don't like them. But when there's people I like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try something. I'll give them extra. I want to impress them. I want to make them happy. I'll give them more. So yeah, I feel like fear and being a jerk. Right. It's I don't know. It's not the best thing. I would be nice to people for sure. Cause I mean, in the end, people can always leave and do something else anyways. So that's good. That's good positivity. And how do they find you? Do you have like a speaker agent? And then
I do, but I also do personal bookings. It's and you can reach me at shawnharper.org. SHAWNHARPER.org.
Yeah. Cool. So people like, do you post a lot of social media? Like, would you find that they find you on Instagram?
Yeah. Kind of So Shawn Harper Speaker on Instagram.
Yeah.
SHAWN, Shawn Harper Speaker, and Winning by Design on Facebook.
Oh, nice. So you're everywhere.
I'm trying.
And do you find that that's how people discover you? Like they just come across like, oh, I like this guy's reels, and I'm gonna.
No, it's weird like that, but just I get more exposure through word of mouth.
Right.
I
guess if you give a speech, that some CEOs will be like, oh, you got to get this guy Shawn to speak at your meeting. Like he is a good thing. So so I'm looking at your bio now. Motivational keynote speaker, author of The Winning Edge, corporate trainer, mindset master, winologist, retired 7-year NFL player. Cool. And then you've even got your address in Columbus. What's on Oakstone Drive? Is that you or is that your office?
That's my office.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so the most recent post here, 18 hours ago, you're posing with a kid in a gym, recently doing a school program, and I met the most amazing young man ever, and I gave the nickname of C-Suite. He will lead a boardroom one day. So now he's got a cool name.
Yes.
I want the name
C-Suite. It just came to me. This kid was just sitting up front. There's some developmental challenges there, but he's extremely intelligent. And I tell you what, he just captured my heart, and I just said, come here in front of the entire school. He was like 400 students said, come here. I said, your new name as of this moment, your new nickname is C-Suite, because you're very intelligent and you're assertive and you take risk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And that's the thing. Like if a lot of it is if you tell somebody they can do something, they can do it.
Yes.
But if you would label, if this kid is just told, you know what, you're not ever going to make it, then he'll never try and he'll never do it.
That's it.
Like it kind of surprised me yesterday. Like I was telling my parents when I came home from the tennis, I'm like, I was really good. And they're like, oh, and I said, maybe I should have played tennis all my life. My dad's like, well, there's never been any athletes in this family. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? It's just, you never encouraged us or told us to play. It's not a magic. Like if there was an athlete, then you'd be genetically passed on. It's like, maybe we all could have been athletes. Like we don't know if we never tried playing tennis. That doesn't, it was such a weird thing to say. And that's kind of why, like my sister's 2 kids, my niece and nephew, they're 9 and 7. Her husband wanted them to try hockey, and my sister, we've never done anything sports like. So my sister's like, oh, hockey, no, they won't be good at hockey, but they tried it, and they're the best in their age categories in the city, and they're playing with kids who are way older, and then they love it, and they're doing all like gymnastics and all this stuff. But they never would have tried it if my sister had just said, oh no, there's no athletes in our family.
Yeah.
So like, you can easily shut things down. And and I guess, I mean, my natural inclination is to be like, oh, I'm going to blame my parents for everything. And why didn't they get me into more things and whatever? But I mean, you got to just, I don't know, do what you can in life and take responsibility for your own life. It's too easy to just start blaming other people for not handing you a tennis racket or whatever. But that's, maybe that's, I can do things like you're doing, like encourage people and help. And that's what I'm trying to do with the podcast. Like somebody messaged me, some chemist or woman or something a while ago on Instagram saying, you really encourage me to go after my dreams. I'm like, well, I'm just complaining about my life on Instagram. She's like, yeah, but you're being real and somehow it's motivating me. I'm like, okay, so whatever I can do to help people and maybe even just sharing my own struggles. Cause I realized, well, maybe if I feel bad about not trying tennis or not becoming a big comedian, maybe other people are feeling bad too. And it'll go, oh, okay, it's okay then to feel regrets because Josh is feeling regrets too, but that means we can just pick each other up and support each other and
keep moving
and keep moving, become C-suite. Yeah. Well, that's cool. So then how did you get like that school gig? Like, how do those things happen?
You know what? It's just a lot of that is word of mouth. Just, hey,
yeah.
Call them in.
Cool. So your phone must be ringing off the hook all the time.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And so you're still in Columbus. So you're in Columbus now.
Yep.
And that's where you're originally from.
Mm-hmm.
So after all the NFL touring around, you come back home.
I love family. That's my family is.
That's the thing. And that's what I'm struggling with these days. Cause like I always thought I was going to go, I had a job offer 10 years ago to work in an ad agency in New York, but I'm like, oh no, I want to go as an actor one day. And I didn't go. So I never lived in New York. I never went to LA, even though I should have always just tried going. And now I'm in Ottawa because my parents are here and one of my sisters is here. And I'm afraid to leave. But on the other hand, I want to go somewhere, but you come back to your family. But I know I don't have a wife or kids, so I could go. And then I'm like, okay, well, what if my podcast takes off and I make $1 billion? Where would I go? I don't know. Like, but I guess it is just about being with family. And if you can travel, you can travel. Because I keep thinking, would I be happier in Miami? Would I go to LA? Go to France? I don't know. But it's like someone like you has a good perspective because you've spoken in 20 countries and you've toured around, like you've been in every city playing in the NFL and you still come back to Columbus. So I don't know what the lesson there is. Maybe Columbus is the best place in the world. Maybe that's the answer.
Or maybe wherever you are is the best place in the world because you make it the best.
Yeah. And that's probably it. Like I keep thinking about cities. And then when I'm talking to people, I'm like, you know what? Every city's got similar things. Every city's got a park and a beach and a movie theater and bowling alleys. Like it's not like things are going to be magically wonderful if I move to Nashville or something. You just got to, I guess, be with people you like and do what you're doing. And so much is online now too. Like it doesn't matter if I'm in LA or in Ottawa, I can still be doing this podcast on Zoom with people from anywhere. So I guess that's the mental struggle. Like at some point, can you just accept this is my life and enjoy it? Or do you, like me, you're always like, no, if I was rich and famous and then living in somewhere warm and then I'd be happy. And then another 10 years goes by and you're like, oh, I'm not ready yet. My life's going to start soon. I don't know. So do you like being a winologist? Are you living the dreams?
I am. I love it.
Cool. Yeah. And then the security company is kind of like, it makes money and stuff. So you'd still, I guess, do you want to sell it or you just want to maintain like, get some money from it, but have somebody else running it kind of thing?
Get somebody else, to run it. And then I can travel more and speak more without worrying about the day-to-day hassles.
Yeah. So, okay. So what if you did that and now you can like, what would be your, perfect life? Like speaking,
travel more.
Yeah.
Travel more, speak more. That's it.
Where would you travel for, oh, look at that. My friend Charles is calling. He's my one friend in Ottawa. Here, I'll put him on speakerphone. You'll like him. Hey, Charles. Charles.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm in the middle of a podcast. I'm interviewing an ex NFL player, Shawn Harper. You're on speakerphone.
Okay, you're in the middle of what?
What?
You're in the middle of what?
A podcast.
Oh, okay, nice.
All right, so
I just crashed your podcast.
Yes, you're crashing my podcast. All right, I'll call you after.
Okay, take care.
Bye. Yeah, so now he's famous. Charles is from where is he from? I guess born in Canada, but he's like Nigerian, so he went to school there. And I met him. He was just I had a broken hard drive and I took it into his computer store once, and then we sort of became friends. And he's my one positive guy, like kind of my only friend in the city. And I'll whenever I feel bad, I'll go hang out with him and he'll be like, stop complaining, just you gotta work. I work hard and you work hard. And I'll be like, yeah. But I can't meet a woman, I gotta go to LA. It's like, there's women here, like just find someone, and doesn't matter. And you don't have kids. Ooh, like it's good to have somebody who can just sort of slap you in the face and go, shut up, stop complaining. So that's what I need. But I keep thinking, well, if I get rich, I'll buy an island and then Charles can visit me. So like where if you had all the money, like where would you travel to? What would you do there? Like sit on a beach and work? Or
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've been so many places. I mean, I've been a lot of places, and so it's no, I wouldn't just sit on the beach. I would probably, go and do some corporate speaking here, and the next day I'm maybe in Zimbabwe. Next week I'm probably in South America helping orphans. So it's the ROI. What's the return and investment? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why I didn't travel much. Like even when I was working in advertising, I never used my 2 or 3 weeks vacation, because I was like, well, I want to be at work. I want to be creative. I want to be productive. Didn't occur to me that no, you can take a couple of weeks or 3 weeks and you could still do something at that place. You could go to LA, you could do stand-up, you could sit at a beach and I don't know, write your book, or there's still things you can do when you're away. So I wish I'd known more of that. And then I do want to travel, but then I sold my condo in Toronto 2 years ago because I thought, okay, I'll be finally free. I've left my job 6 years ago. I'll sell the condo. I'll be free. And then I was like, where am I going? I just stayed in hotels in Toronto. And then I finally went to Orlando for a podcast conference called Podfest in March 2020. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll stay in Miami. Maybe I'll go to LA. And then everybody's like, no, there's a pandemic. You got to come back. The border's closing. I'm like, do I? And I guess there hasn't been much going on for the past couple of years, and I was just here in Ottawa in my parents' basement, and now they're like, you got to leave. So I'm like, okay, well, where am I going? Like, rather than just get an apartment in Ottawa, because seems like it'll be just more of the same. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So that's why I'm just like, well, where would you go? Where could you, what does Jeff Bezos do to see, where's the best place to be? I don't know, but I guess you just keep doing it and you can always travel. I just regret not traveling. Like 15 years ago, somebody said, hey, why don't you come to Africa? We've got this wildlife reserve. You can do our live streaming show from here for a month. And I was like, that's a long way to go. I'll be lonely. And I never did it. And I'm like, why? I mean, I would have been story to tell being in Africa for a month. Like what? Yeah. But instead I just sat here and didn't do anything. So, but you got to keep going, I guess. I don't know. Like, do you find that you're able to, like, are you getting joy from the speak? Like, if I was in the NFL, I might be regretting all the time. Like, oh my God, I wish I was still in the NFL. I'd be sitting there just wishing I, was young again. But you're enjoying this just as much?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Okay, great. Definitely. All right. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. And maybe one day you can give me tips on how to become a coach.
Let's do this.
You. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much. And then if people like, you wrote a book, is it on Amazon?
Yeah, you can get the book on Amazon. But you know what I'm going to do? If you go to ShawnHarper.co, you can get a free copy. You can also get a free copy off of my website. If you want a hardback copy, of course, you can go to my website. You can go to Amazon and you can pick that book up. Easy.
All right. Well, I'm an Amazon affiliate, so I'll put my cool affiliate link to the hardcover, and I'll add it to my Amazon influencer page as a recommended book. And then if you want it free, you can go to ShawnHarper.co. And there we go. And not .com. We got to find out who the Shawn Harper is, who's taking all the .coms and everything.
I know, right? I've been in contact with this bot who's trying to sell it to me for like thousands of dollars. I just won't do it.
No, it's not worth it. Not worth it. Years ago, I let JoshRackless.com expire, and some jerk in some other country bought it and was trying to hold it hostage. And after years, he just let it go. But I mean, you don't need it. I mean, whatever. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Go help people win some more.
I will.
And I'm all pumped up to take on my day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You be blessed.
All right. I'll try.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.